Good morning, everyone. This is Kathleen with Be Again Books. Welcome to my channel. Thanks for spending some time with me today. So, I bet you never thought we'd reach this point. This has been a long time. We've been doing this journal together. But in my decorating process, the final step that I go through is to add details. And so that's what we're going to talk about today is details. And details are just, they can be anything, honestly. Anything, any little thing is a detail. But for me and my journals, details function in two ways. They add that little extra something that just reflects me, the way I think, the way my mind thinks about art. But secondly, and most important, it adds unity and harmony to the book, especially when you use repetition, which it's one of the elements of art, is to repeat things throughout the work, and that kind of helps guide your eye. It just helps. And so when I'm thinking about this boho fairy journal, I decided that that one of the little minor notes that kept coming up was a butterfly, and so that's how I'm going to detail. Honestly, this book is to use butterflies throughout the book. Butterflies are a very fairy kind of thing, and so one of the things that I do at the very end is I kind of page through it and look at the ephemera. Do I have enough ephemera? Do I need ephemera somewhere? And I needed a little piece of ephemera behind this tuck spot. And so this has already been coffee dyed. It's already been, smushed with the paint. So all I'm going to do is add this little butterfly stamp. And I'm going to put it over here so that it will kind of peek out when I put it in the tuck. Yep. So I have used this same stamp in different places throughout the book in my detailing process so that it will add harmony throughout the book. For example, I've also added it, to this. This is just another little journal paper that I make these things kind of at the end of my process as I put in ephemera. And so, the process of decorating, all of these steps, it's not always a linear thing. It's fluid. It kind of goes back and forth. So when I'm making ephemera, I can also add fiber, or I can also add a flat embellishment, or, so it kind of goes back and forth. This piece of ephemera fits back into here. And so you can see there's butterflies on both of these pages and now on this little piece of ephemera. So that fits in that pocket. And then this little die cut, it's been in my embellishment drawer for so long, and I'm finally going to be able to use it. The colors match really well, and I'm going to go ahead and put it all the way here at the end. So when I'm thinking about details, there are things that come up for me. So I always think about book jewelry, like, does this journal need a tassel or a spine dangle? Do I want to add some charms? I think in terms of splatter, so splatter, paint splatter, stenciling, we talked about that. Stamping, we just talked about that. And then another thing that I do kind of at the end is I will sometimes add clips. Either to the top, I'll make an altered paper clip, or I'll use a Tim Holtz little clip, or an altered paper clip that's just bent. So yeah, I'm just gonna put a little bend on this. That's how simple that is. And then that's going that, but see, that's just a little detail, you know, on that clip that just makes it something a little more special. You know, I was thinking about it this morning in terms of, and now that I have that clip on there, I'm just going to add this butterfly. I guess we'll put it this direction so that it won't stick out too far. Okay. Oh, forgot. I was going to put the little charm on there. So this book, because it is so long and narrow, it doesn't work really well for charms, because they would pull on the spine, and the spine is not very tall. So the whole thing, you know, is kind of going like that. So I didn't want to put a lot of weight on the pages, but this is a really tiny leaf, and I think that I can afford to put that on here. So we're just going to put that little leaf on that clip, and then that's going to kind of hold this down. Whoops, didn't mean for that to go around 2 pages here. Sorry. Okay. All right. Now something else. There was something else I was going to do. I'm looking for, oh yes, this is another thing. So I just look for little details that can make something a little better. So this page, I like, you know, the way that looks, but I've decided that if I add just this little whale tail tab, that's the word I was looking for. When I add that little tab, that will just be a little detail that puts a little bit of oomph. I was saying a minute ago, I was thinking about it this morning, like it's like frosting a snack cake or brownies. You know, brownies are good without frosting. They are. And you don't have to frost brownies for them to be good. But, you know, frosted brownies are just that much better than unfrosted brownies. Okay, so see, that's just another little detail, and that adds 3 themes to this page, 3 kinds of places where my eye lands. And so that's the rule of 3, which is, you know, comfortable for me. So let me go back and show you the paint splatter. I decided I wanted something flat, because this book it's as thick as it can be. And so I just kind of came back, and in several places, I just put some paint splatter. So there was some pink splatter already, but look at what a difference this paint splatter makes to that collage. Yeah, it just adds the frosting, right? Here's another little place. Yeah. And I have made, because when I put I'm going to show you how to do this lettuce edge on this fabric ribbon, but in just a minute. But when this book ties, so let's tie it up. And with my ribbons, I always, when I do this, when I have a double ribbon like this, I tie the ends. I do that for a specific reason, and that is so that when you come to untie it, you've got this mass of stuff here, then you can look for the knots and pull on it, and then it comes apart easily. So here's the journal, the way it looks, and you've got this mass on this side. I do have this little fabric collage over here, so it's balanced. It's balanced okay, and I would feel fine about leaving it that way. But I just decided that that it needed, because it's boho and we're over the top, you know, with boho. I just decided that I would make a charm dangle tassel. It's a charm tassel, really, because it's the dangle's not separate. And I wanted to use specifically this mother of pearl circle because I wanted to emphasize this Art Nouveau circle shape in the back and how that goes around. She's holding a circle here. She has a circle in her hair. I have the 3 little pearl circles here. So that was just another way that I could enhance that. Same with this little charm, the bead. So I'm just kind of going for that moon kind of lunar vibe. Yeah. So this just slips on the spine like this. So it can be removed, but when you're working in the journal, and then when the journal is displayed, then that really makes this more balanced in my mind. Okay, so that's really what I have to tell you about details. And we have now completely decorated this Nouveau Fairy junk journal. And so I will be doing a flip through of this, and then I'm going to put this up on my Etsy. So I know that a couple of you have expressed interest in purchasing this. You wondered whether it was for sale, and it will be for sale. And so when I do the flip through, I will let you know when it will hit my Etsy. My Etsy is sometimes, you know, books sit there a while, and sometimes they go in 5 minutes. So I don't know what it is. It's just the way it strikes people, but I will let you know when I'm ready to publish this. Okay, so before I leave you, I'm going to just give you a little tip about how to make this ragged edge. They call it a lettuce edge in sewing. Anyway, seamstresses make this lettuce edge with knit fabric. Anyway, so let me tell you how that works. So this is just some silky satiny fabric, and what you need to do this. So do you remember I've talked to you before about the grain of fabric? So you have fabric has a grain. It has a crosswise grain that goes this way and a lengthwise grain that goes this way. And you need to find that grain. And then the bias is the diagonal. And so this roughly raggedy edge is done with the bias. And so you have the selvage edge on one side and the crosswise. And so it's not, when it frays, it's not very attractive if you do it on either of the grains. A little more attractive on the crosswise grain. But to make it lettucey like that, you need to cut a strip on the bias. So this is straight grain, and this is the bias grain, and I have cut a strip off of that. And now all you do is you just take it between your fingers and the nail of your thumb, and you just start scrunching it like that. And because it's caught, the threads are caught on the bias like that. I don't know if you can see well enough, but because it's cut on the bias, it won't allow the threads to completely unravel. It stops it. It's caught there in the bias grain. And so you can just move down the ruffle on both sides one direction is always a little better than the other, so you just have to find whichever way that is, and then you just move down, just pinching it between your fingernail and the edge, and that will give you that pretty lettuce edge along the edge of the fabric ruffle. All right, that's my tip for today. Thanks so much for spending so much time with me as we have gone through this decorating process. I know some of you were interested in that series, and so I hope that has fulfilled your interest, and I appreciate your time. Thanks so much. We'll see you again with the flip through.